So you know I love Star Wars, and you know I collect a lot of different Star Wars things. Some of them are easier to collect than others. Just how it goes now. Hey there everybody, it's Rev Kev here. I pray you are having an amazing day today. We're stepping into Canada Thanksgiving long weekend, so wherever you are in the world, I just pray that you have a lot to be thankful for in your life. And even if you're not a Canadian, just take a moment and just give thanks for all the amazing things that you have in your life. So if you've been a part of my channel for a while now, you know I love Star Wars. I talk a lot about Star Wars, and there's so many different aspects of Star Wars that I like to talk about that I really love. The movies, the TV shows, the comic books, the video games, the board games, the pop figures, so many great things to just keep Star Wars fun. And I'm trying to get better at enjoying things because lately, and I know I can be criticized as being a hater, but I'm not a hater. I'm not enjoying a lot of the products that are coming out under the Star Wars banner. It just feels like a lot of stuff has become bargain bin quality stuff. I mean, Fantasy Flight Games, amazing, and all their Star Wars games, the role-playing games, X-Wing, Star Wars Legion, Destiny, all these great games that come out. The Funko Pop figures are awesome. I love collecting Funko Pop figures. And so as part of my kind of keeping Star Wars fun, I wanted to start getting back into Star Wars comic books. Now, I have been a long-time collector of Star Wars comic books right from the very get-go. I owned, and I use it in past tense, owned all the original comic books from the Marvel series that started in 1978, from issue number 1 all the way up to issue 107, and then I lost them all in a basement flood. I know, everyone keeps telling me, you keep your comic books off the ground. I didn't listen. I paid the ultimate price. Goodbye. Recently on Twitter, I had a poll asking what was your favorite timeline in the Star Wars saga. Old Republic, Clone Wars, Rise of the Empire, Rise of the Resistance, and the huge winner was the period of the Empire. And the reason I asked the question is because Marvel has been producing a lot of these one-shot comic books of standalone stories all set within those different time periods, where you have comic books of Age of the Resistance, Age of the Republic, and also the Age of the Rebellion. And so since the Empire, Age of the Empire won on my poll, I'm starting with reviewing these books of Star Wars Age of Rebellion. And we're going to start in this video looking at Issue 1, Luke Skywalker, and Issue 1, Darth Vader. So let's talk about these. So both of these books are written by Greg Pak, and different artists on all of them. And in fact, the issue of Darth Vader, it's Ramon Bax. And on the Luke Skywalker one, there's actually 3 different artists that are credited for it. There's Chris Sprouse, Scott Koblish, and Stefano Landini. And I just gotta say, I had very high hopes for these standalone stories. I think one of the drawbacks of the comic book industry today is that it takes 7 issues to tell one story. They do the big splash pages, and if they're drawn well and done well as part of the story, I think that's awesome. But it takes a long time to tell a good story. So I was kind of looking forward to these standalone, knowing they're going to be shorter, but hoping to get some good character development, some really cool, fun, quick Star Wars stories. So while I had great hope for these issues, I gotta say they are quite disappointing. Sure, I was going into it with my expectations really low, but unfortunately Greg Pak's stories set the bar even lower than where my expectations were, especially this issue of Luke Skywalker. It feels like they're using these stories to fill in the gaps of the movies people who had logistical, very logical, valid complaints, especially about The Last Jedi. It feels like all of these issues are just trying to say, see, you were wrong about your opinion about The Last Jedi. This is Star Wars canon because of these comics. And these are written after, they came out after, and it feels like they're just trying to fill in the blank instead of kind of saying, yeah, that was a bad idea. So like take, for example, here, so in the issue of Luke Skywalker, they're kind of marveling. It's got Luke going on this mission with a bunch of rebel, soldiers. There's a major there who's really not a very nice guy. And everyone is just in absolute stunned marvel about how amazing Luke Skywalker is. Well, the big page splash single drawing that you have for that is a big giant close-up of Luke Skywalker swinging a lightsaber in his head and a droid cut in half. That didn't really look all that amazing. It looked like you phoned it in. It didn't look like this big epic battle. Like if these trained rebel soldiers are like, wow, this is incredible, then show me something incredible. Don't show me like this very bland, dull art. And the art in this book is very inconsistent. The artists, it looks like there's a couple of artists on a few pages and they just kind of switch over. And the art, and I hate criticizing art this way because I know art is subjective, but the art just goes from bad to really, really, really bad. And basically what this issue is trying to justify is it's trying to justify Luke Skywalker becoming a hermit. And you have the Emperor who's across the galaxy kind of feeding into Luke's fears, feeding into Luke's angers, and it has this vision that Luke has while fighting in his X-Wing fighter, that he just goes off to some planet, becomes a farmer, finds a wife, and has a couple of kids, and becomes a hermit, and just leaves the war. I tried. I really tried. The Darth Vader issue, again, Darth Vader being the greatest character ever created. The rise, fall, and redemption of Anakin Skywalker is a classic story. And the more we can learn about Darth Vader, especially kind of right after that period when he stops being Anakin Skywalker, as Obi-Wan Kenobi said, where he ceased to be Anakin Skywalker and became Darth Vader. Those early days of Vader, I think, are so interesting and so worth exploring more and more. And the story in here, again, is just another story that we've seen before. It's another story of Darth Vader kind of being the Emperor's lapdog and the kind of the political governors trying to manipulate Vader for their own power within the Empire. We've seen this before. We all know how it ends. And it just ends with Vader mopping the floor with these people. So, didn't add to the character of Vader, didn't add to anything of the mythology of Star Wars. It's fine, the art is decent until the very end when they're in an asteroid field and this governor is trying to, I think he's basically trying to get rid of Vader back. And again, so many missed opportunities in this book too. Again, the art, because the art is fine, but it is kind of shabby in some places. Again, where this governor is sending Vader out, and it's like he wants to get Vader killed. He's sending Vader out all by himself to attack these planets, to go on these missions, and it's like this was just some great opportunity to break it up, show some amazing lightsaber fights, really highlight some great art. And again, it's these little pictures where you got Vader kind of down on the lower thing, you got a bunch of laser bolts, and you've got this big empty sky and a rock. Like, where's the battle? It's not epic, it's kind of bland and boring. So, again, nice try. So really, that's all I have to say about these first two issues about Star Wars Age of Rebellion. If you've read these, I would love to know what you thought of them in the comment section below. I so appreciate everyone who subscribes and likes the videos and comments. It means the world to me. In my next video, I'm going to review these two. I hope they're better. Anyways, until next time, this is Rev Kev. May the Force be with you. God bless you. Pray you have an amazing day. Happy Thanksgiving weekend to my Canadian friends, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless.